And welcome back, everyone. This Saturday's What If we pre-record on Thursday of all days. From Andre Nell, the question of what if Tarble was sent to Earth instead of Goku? So first and foremost, this means Goku would die on planet Vegeta. Very sad. Moving on. But more importantly, Tarble's now our main character. So Tarble, if you're not aware, is in fact canon. He is proven to be canon. This younger brother of Vegeta, who was basically sent off planet because he was considered a low-class Saiyan in terms of strength. Now, right at the gate, how old is Tarble? We're not 100% sure, because was he sent right around the time that Goku was sent, or was he sent a few years earlier than Goku? My guess is that he's technically a little bit older than Goku, but not by a large margin, maybe a year or two, but that might be me pushing it. Still, I think he's a little older than Goku, except for the fact that Goku's body is actually much younger than his actual chronological age. So technically, Goku is actually physically younger than Tarble by a large margin. But still, let's say Tarble's older by about a year. That means he's about a year old, maybe two, when he's sent. Because Goku wasn't a newborn, but he was pretty young when he was sent. When he's sent to Earth. Now, Tarble is also considered one of those few kind-hearted Saiyans, very soft, not really having the same aggressive disposition as other Saiyans, and certainly doesn't have the will to be conquering worlds. So when he's found by Grandpa Gohan, I don't think he hits his head. He's probably just like, well, what's your name? Tarble. Oh, that's a fun name. All right, Tarble. And so he's raised by Grandpa Gohan. Now, because he's fully aware of what he is, when he's old enough, tells his adopted grandfather about himself. I think he's also able to avoid the moon, and Grandpa Gohan gets to live. This now raises a big thing for the entirety of this one-shot, as you've seen it is. I might go a little ways into the one-shot, but it's a one-shot for me. How strong is Tarble? And to answer that, we know that the two brothers that came to Earth in this special that he is were around the same strength as base form Frieza, the first form Frieza. But Tarble wasn't strong enough to beat them, but strong enough to give them a fight. Give them some trouble. That would mean that Tarble's probably over half as strong as that first form Frieza we see. My guess is if you were to use like a power level, he's probably around say the 300 to 350 range, maybe even 400,000. Strong enough to give him a fight. Definitely give him a fight and give him some trouble, as they put it, but not strong enough to defeat them. This is probably because Tarble doesn't have the unladen potential, the hidden potential that, say, his brother or Goku does, or Broly does. He probably actually had an okay base stat total, even for a low cast. He's probably stronger than Kid Goku at this point, at least a 20 or a 30. It's just, that's his natural strength, and his hidden potential really isn't all that powerful. So he probably grows at a slower rate than Goku does. But because he's naturally stronger than Goku, when Bulma comes a knocking, he just says, "Oh, hi, yeah, now let me show you around," and shows Grandpa Gohan, we have company. Oh, hello there. Yeah, are those I want that thing. It's oh, the Dragon Ball? It's just a knick-knack I found one day, but you're welcome to it if it'll help you out. Tarble, why don't you go and go with her? So, well, are you sure, Grandpa? You need to go see the world, Tarble. There's so much more than just this little mountainside. I'll be here when you get back. Don't worry. So, oh, okay. And basically, Tarble's adventure does mirror Goku's. But again, Tarble being smarter than Goku. I mean, granted, the amount of education that Tarble could be getting is limited, but I think Goku's just kind of naturally dumb. So I think it doesn't help. And he picks up on things pretty quick, I imagine. And again, he's a very outgoing, bright kid. So Tarble is going around helping Bulma where he can. Takes care of Oolong, takes care of Yamcha pretty quickly. He boss Carrot as well, because he has the power pole. Honestly, most of that, the Pilaf saga would probably go the same. Minus first off, learning the Kamehameha instantly, I don't think even Tarble can do that. Goku just has a knack for doing that. That's something that is very Goku. But turning, say, into the Ozaru and then breaking out shouldn't be a problem. And I would even go so far as to say Tarble might be able to not control his Ozaru, but at least direct it in the right way. Like, he can at least recognize friend from foes. Like, don't hurt these, but hurt them. Like, he's not able to talk, but he's able to kind of focus it and, drive it home, and scares them off, and ultimately honors the wish, and Tarble recedes back into his normal form. So eventually he would go find Roshi, meets Krillin. They would train with him. And like I said, he's actually probably about as strong now as Goku at this point, because I think he doesn't have the potential Goku does. I think his growth rate is much slower, which means even though his base was started out as strong, his overall strength is about the same as Goku's. Now granted, I think he can learn to enjoy martial arts very well, but I don't think he's got that lust for battle that Goku does, or even normal Saiyans do. And it's even confirmed he doesn't have he's not evil or rude or ruthless or anything like that. So him and Roshi would duke it out. I think Tarble, though, is actually very humble enough to understand, okay, I've been beaten. Thank you, Master Chun. And so he goes off. And unlike with the original, he doesn't necessarily go out and find the Dragon Balls. Like, he goes back to see his grandfather. He reminisces about everything he's been through. He's like, yay, hooray. Ultimately, he still, I think, gets scooped up into the Red Ribbon Army fold through, like, shenanigans and Rest, Roshi, and Bulma. So he does have to help. He does go meet Poir eventually, does the training, so forth and so on. And then, again, most of this actually really mirrors Goku's journey. I think he struggles against Tien probably a little bit more than Goku, because he's probably not as strong as Goku here. And that's the key thing in this entire what if. He's not as strong as Goku. He started off stronger. I think he probably did have a higher base total of power level. We just don't know what his power level really is. But based on what they said, it's because Goku's power level was 2. I have to believe Tarble is stronger than Goku. I have to believe it for my own well-being. Like, holy crap. I know there's low-class Saiyans, but holy crap. So basically, to summarize some of the Dragon Ball saga real quick here, Tarble vs. King Piccolo nearly gets himself killed, and just as with Goku, barely wins. Trains with Kami. Now, with Kami, though, he's a bit more insightful, and I think he's a bit more receptive to things like meditation and relaxation. So this actually might be where he gets a leg up on Goku, and is actually able to maybe eclipse Goku just slightly. That means when the fight around King Piccolo comes, so that means he's going to be able to learn things like the automatic dodging a lot better. He's going to be a lot more focused in his training. Maybe he's even able to handle the hyperbolic for an extra day or two when he tries. But he ultimately is, I think, just a wee bit stronger than Piccolo. Barely manages the win, but still manages it. And I like Goku spares him. Now. The big thing here is that, one of the big things here is that Tarble, we've seen what Tarble looks like. He's kind of like a Krillin-sized version of Vegeta in terms of how big he is and how he looks. But would Bulma find that attractive? Would Bulma be more attracted to him than Yamcha, or would Chi-Chi be after Tarble? I'll be honest, I don't see Tarble making the same mistake Goku did about having a wife. And so I don't see Chi-Chi immediately kind of trying to beat on Tarble when I'm not even sure Chi-Chi went into the martial arts tournament, to be honest. I think one of the reasons she did it was because she knew Goku was going to be there. I think. That, or she did enter for her own reasons. Regardless, I think Tarble and Bulma actually makes a bit more sense here. He's smarter than Goku by a good margin. He even absorbs a lot of the info that Bulma says to him when they're traveling together pretty effectively. And so I think maybe she finds, and because we also know she was attracted to Vegeta, and he just looks like a smaller, kind of young, more youthful version of Vegeta. I think maybe that's ultimately kind of draws her to him. Maybe not initially, because she's still with Yamcha at this point in time. But when she sees, it's like, well, he's grown up a little bit, and oh my, it's like, hi, hey, Bulma, it's great to see you again. You're man, you're looking great. It's like, oh, it's like, hey, buddy, she's my girl, right? Oh, sorry, Yamcha. It's like, he's just oblivious to the fact that Bulma's now kind of like, is Yamcha really that great? So, honestly, I could actually see in the 5-year time skip her dumping Yamcha, because we know one of the problems with Yamcha is that he cheated on her, which is weird because he does have this weird phobia of women. And so, Tarble and Bulma get together. They have their, I guess it would be Trunks here. It would be, although I think maybe Tarble could convince her to name him Gohan because, of Grandpa Gohan, who maybe passes at this point. Because we don't know how, and we know Roshi's far older. I guess you don't know if Gohan drank from the Fountain of Youth like Roshi did. Because if he did, then he'd still be around for a while. But it's like, I'm honored that you named a little tyke after me. It's like, and he pretty much looks like a purple-headed version of Gohan. And he probably, because of all the potential Goku had, that's where a lot of Gohan's potential came from. Added in that hybrids have more potential to begin with. But in terms of how strong Tarble is, that's where the problem again arises, is that he just doesn't have Goku's potential. Which means when Raditz comes, Raditz first off doesn't even know who he is. It's not like his brother. It's like, so there you are. Wait, you're Tarble, aren't you? You're Prince Vegeta's brother. Wait, my brother's still alive? Yes, of course. He'll be ecstatic to understand, to know that you're here. No, but tell me, why haven't you conquered the planet yet? Like, well, why would I want to do that? Because that's our job, Tarble, to conquer worlds for our esteemed business, boss, Lord Frieza. And he just saw, he's like, Frieza? That monster? He's still around, we're still working, brother? Easy now. Now, I understand I understand what you're saying, but you need to uphold your end of the deal. We Saiyans are conquerors. No, I refuse. Well, then I'll just take your son. No! And he takes him away. And Tarble and Piccolo team up, and Tarble gets just killed. So, now granted, I still think it could end the same way, where Raditz is killed, and Vegeta hears, my little brother. Oh, well, let's see if so these Dragon Balls, So basically, he's on the scouter that both Tarble is alive and the Dragon Balls. I see. Well then, let's go pay a visit to my little brother then. And so Tarble's training in the afterlife. Everyone's trying their best to train. But I don't see anyone being much stronger here than the original. Tarble eventually shows up. I would put him probably more at 7,000 than the 8,000, and I'm being generous on that. Might even be 6. He does Kaioken to stop Nappa like he does in the original. And Vegeta's just squared up. So, little brother, this is how it ends. It's like, Vegeta, we don't have to do... Why are you like this? We're like this because we are Saiyans. And we have our natural right to conquer and destroy. And I don't agree with that, brother. It's like, you never did. It's, too bad for you. And so they clash, and Tarble, even going triple Kaioken, he's only able to match Vegeta. And his body probably isn't as strong as Goku's. He's a smaller guy, smaller friend. So they say he can't be strong and get a strong body, but it's just at this point in time, comparing the two, he just isn't the same. Which means triple Kaioken probably wrecks him like quadruple Kaioken does for Goku. And this sadly leads to pretty much his death, as well as Gohan, everyone's death. Everyone dies, and Vegeta's like, damn us all. And the Dragon Balls aren't here. They've already been used. Still, the Namekians are the ones who created them. And so he gets in his pod and blows up the Earth. And he goes, and he rests. He probably did get... Tarble was able to push him. He was surprised by that. It's your fault, little brother. You couldn't see reason. And so he goes, still gets his Zenkai. He fails miserably. So does Frieza, admittedly, for the Dragon Balls, because no one's willing to translate the sons of bitches. So they blow up Namek. They're done. Vegeta's also dead. And, yeah, it's just a matter of, all right, when does Babidi find Boo's cocoon? Assuming he didn't get released in Boo's, just this, kind of bit of dust with no power. Ultimately, Babidi probably does use some magic to get him back in there. They find enough planets and worlds to basically siphon off enough energy to resurrect Boo. Boo goes on a rampage. Frigg's like, yeah, I will not be made fun of by a bag of, or a bottle of pink bubble gum. Ah, they're just eaten. And then once again, Beerus eventually would wake up, take care of Boo and Babidi, and then Zeno would wipe out the multiverse. Tarble being the lead of the story is not good in my opinion. He's not as strong as Goku by a long, wide margin because he's technically older than Goku. When you actually break it down, when Tarble had to have left, he's either an equal age to Goku, physically speaking, or he's actually a little bit older by like a year than Goku, chronologically speaking. So yeah, it's not good for Tarble to be the lead here. Now, there's a secondary version of this what if where he goes to Earth with Goku. That is a completely different what if, and that's one that can be multi-parts and will be multi-parts whenever we get to it. But as for this one, no bueno, no bueno. But until then, look, this is just my thoughts. Let me know in the comments below if you feel the same way or if you think I'm just being like, oh my God, the last two were so bleak. Because, like, sorry. But you know what this does mean now? The first poll for the first My Hero Academia what ifs to be put up. I'll put them up. They'll be up by the time this video comes out. I'll probably put them up because that pre-recording is Thursday. I'll probably put them up on Friday. But yeah, keep your eyes out for those because, like I said, we're now going to be doing trade-offs. 3 My Hero what ifs, 3 Dragon Ball what ifs. Back and forth, back and forth. So anyway, I digress. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys for the next one.